Fallout continues all around the country after a draft of a Supreme Court decision that would overturn the court's Roe V Wade decision was leaked.
This afternoon, the moderator of CBS's Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan, joins us live from D.C. to break down what comes next. And Margaret, as always, good to see you this Friday afternoon. We understand you'll be speaking with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi this upcoming Sunday. Is there a path forward in Congress to codify Roe v. Wade, and will it impact the midterms coming up?
Well, there will be a vote next Wednesday in the Senate to try to create federal protection to abortion access, but it will fail. There are not 60 votes in the Senate to actually pass it into law. So lawmakers have had since 1973, which is when Roe versus Wade was decided, to actually write this into federal legislation, and it's just never passed. We're going to speak to Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, about what happens next. We will also look at those political impacts that you mentioned. Midterm races in November. Will this drive up turnout at the polls, particularly for pro-abortion rights Democrats, or will it not have the kind of political benefit Democrats are hoping it might, by jolting supporters to go and defend what they see as a key defining issue for some of them? According to CBS polling, the majority of Americans just want to keep things where they are, maintain the status quo. That is, some access to abortion with some restrictions.
Switching gears now to what is unfolding still in Ukraine. The UN says more than 3,300 people have been killed, including at least 234 children. That's new information. Evacuations there continue, as you know, Margaret, even as Russia launches more attacks. What is the very latest on what's unfolding, and any idea when all of this will end?
There is no timeline for this to end. U.S. and European officials I speak to say this could end at any moment if Vladimir Putin decided to call off the invasion. But there is no immediate end on the calendar, for example, or on the battlefield that is apparent. In the next few days, Ukrainians are being warned that they could experience an uptick in violence, an uptick in missile strikes. Because of this May 9th holiday on the Russian calendar, that's on Monday, and it is expected that Vladimir Putin will try to make some kind of a statement around it. So we know that the White House is bumping up aid. It is increasing more security assistance. And on Sunday, President Zelensky will speak with President Biden and other leaders of some of the biggest economies in the world, the G7.
And ending here today, the U.S. adding 428,000 jobs just last month. Unemployment remained at 3.6%, but inflation, that's still at a 4-decade high, a big problem. The Federal Reserve announced an increase in short-term interest rates this week to try and tame that inflation. What do we need to know? Where do we go from here, Margaret?
Well, you can expect that this won't be the last time the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. We know that this is a real economic concern. There was a solid jobs report today. It would normally be good news. It shows the economy is continuing to recover from the pandemic, rehire workers, but the wages being paid to them, that rate of increase isn't keeping up with the cost of living, the spike in inflation you just mentioned there. And that disconnect could be a problem for consumers if they pull back and trigger a recession. That's an economic concern. It also would have political impacts. And when we look at our political polling from CBS News, it shows consistently that inflation is the #1 concern for voters right now.
Another busy week, another busy Friday. Margaret, we know your time is precious. We thank you for sharing some of it with us this afternoon. We will be watching, as we do each week, Face the Nation, Sunday mornings at 9:30 right here on CBS.